Everything's set, right? We got the voice working.
We are on. Hello,
Microphone is on.
Welcome to the Wildflowers. I'm Judy.
I'm Carol.
I'm Peggy.
Number
92?
Nope, 91.
Oh,
91.
yay, look, I was right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting up there, ladies. We look good for 91.
Yeah. Damn right. How's everybody doing?
We're doing great.
Good.
Getting ready for Christmas.
Busy time of year.
Oh my gosh, it's like all of a sudden, like
I know.
it's
Because
starting to
Thanksgiving
panic.
was so late. I think
Yeah.
that has a big
Yeah.
part of it.
It's throwing me off. It really is. It's throwing me off.
And it's hard to get family members, like my grandkids, like, what do you want for Christmas? And I like to be finished by this time, and I'm not.
Oh,
yes.
You know, I got Jessica and I got Samantha, and I'm going to get something else for Jess and Sam, but Sam won't tell me what she wants. Aaron and Peter are taken care of, and I just found out today what to get for Tate.
Oh,
Riley,
okay.
nothing. She's going to end up with an envelope full of cash again.
she's got the
I think
cash.
she's playing it smart that way.
Yeah.
She doesn't spend it. She's
Yeah.
got like a drawer full of cash, the kid.
I know. That's...
And gift cards. Well, I got them each a $50 gift card for Barnes & Noble also.
Oh, nice.
So.
Okay. All right. Not,
Yeah, I'm spending a lot of my time in Barnes & Noble these days. Yeah.
Well, they do manga.
Oh.
Yeah.
And, well, Tate doesn't so much, but Riley does.
Oh, okay.
So they go to
more
Theodore's also, but, you know, you go into B&N and they've got a gigantic
Right,
section of
right.
the manga books.
I'm getting a lot of
And the
my gifts
anime.
from B&N lately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
too.
they're
Even
beautiful.
for the kids, like my girls, they're into a lot of, even not only the books, but the music, the vinyl.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
that's
have a lot
awesome.
of vinyl on their
That's pretty cool.
wish list,
Oh,
which
okay.
I know you would appreciate because you love vinyl,
Yeah.
and so it was cool. I found myself this week perusing the vinyl section
Yeah.
in B&N,
Fun.
which was really fun. I have
Yeah.
to say. So
Yeah.
yeah, they have a nice selection.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that they have a record player.
Yes.
turntable.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, they
That's
do.
very cool.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And now they had a selection there if you needed a record player. They had like displays
They
of
do.
record
Oh,
players
okay.
there to buy anyway too, which I
Okay.
thought also was nice. It's nice to see that coming back.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know it's probably
It's
come
got
back
a
for a
different
while,
sound.
but
Yeah,
it's,
it has
but
been.
the
It's-
younger generation.
But it's getting
is
more and more popular too,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's cool.
that's
But
cool.
Very cool.
how are we feeling with decorating and getting in the spirit after? We're still kind of reeling, as you could imagine, from the election. And I find myself a little sore. Like, we bought the tree. We have a
Right.
tree. We bought it on Wednesday night. It's just still sitting undecorated. We haven't decorated it yet.
Yeah.
A lot of it is time. You know, there's always, and this week is not going to be any different because there's orchestra concert, chorus concert,
Right.
band concerts, you know, like
Yeah.
awards ceremonies, like
Wow.
all going on. So I feel like I don't know when this tree is going to get done.
Yeah, where's your tree? You didn't.
Yeah.
No.
You not gonna get one?
No, I didn't get one last year. I got one of those little tiny fake ones, but I'm not in the mood.
Yeah.
But Jason did the outside, so he's
He
Yeah.
did. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
I just did decorations. I was hemming and hawing about a tree, and then Samantha said, "Oh, what? You have to have a tree." And if I had a bigger place, a
Right,
bigger
right.
living place, I would. I like having a tree. But I said, "Oh my God!" I looked around. I said, "All right, you know, where am I going to put it? I have to move this. I have to move that." So I just said, "Nope, just decorate." I got my decorations out. I put them around, and I said, "I don't need the tree." It's not like anybody is down there with me
Yeah,
anyway. I'm by
yeah.
myself.
Yeah,
Right, right.
You know.
yeah, that's how I feel. I'm by myself. I open up the decorations. Oh, who can I share this with? Nobody. Fuck it. I'm like, no.
So no decorations for you?
Probably not. No. I do want to mention a movie that I saw that I'm wondering if you guys saw it. Was it on Netflix? No, I can't remember. I should have wrote where. It's called Widow Clicquot
No.
from the Veuve Clicquot.
Oh, okay.
She was well before her time. Her husband was the one, his father owned the vineyard, the Veuve
Oh, that's
Clicquot.
cool. That's a good champagne. I like that one.
You would like the movie. I
Yeah.
think you both would.
Okay.
But she, when her husband died unexpectedly, and they don't know if it was suicide or if he had some kind of illness. This is based all on fact that the men were trying to get rid of her out of the company, out of the business. And I love this woman because she fought for her husband and she fought for this champagne. and she was determined to get it to where it is that we drink today.
Wow.
And it's just such a
Oh, I'll
fascinating
have to
movie.
check that
Yeah,
out.
and it's called Widow Clicquot.
Clicquot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Judy and I were just talking before camera because we watched that show Silo.
Oh, I heard you
Love
talking.
it.
Oh my God, it's such a great show.
It really is.
You would probably like it, Carol.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a really good show. It's
Yeah.
like post-apocalyptic,
Right.
and these people, like in this one silo, 10,000 people live there, and it's way underground. The silo.
Wow.
It's not above ground. It's
Okay.
underground.
Okay.
And you assume that it was a nuclear holocaust.
Right.
Right.
Um,
And everybody's got assigned jobs.
Yeah.
And they control populations for who gets pregnant, who doesn't get
Ooh.
pregnant.
There's a lot of lying going on. Like
No
people
books.
don't know the truth, and
Wow.
they call things like if you had like something like this is a relic, and you could be sentenced to death for having
Why
it.
would I watch this? I don't need to be more
No.
It's actually it's a good
It's a very good show.
yes,
very
it's
good
very
show.
well done and a
Yeah.
good cast, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Tim
Robbins.
is
Yeah.
in it too.
Oh,
He plays
That last episode, I couldn't believe what he
I
did.
know.
You
we're
have
not
to
gonna
watch
say it.
Silo.
We're not gonna- exactly. But we had some bit of news headlines in New York City late this week, which I think is interesting to talk about. Was the murder of United
Yeah, United Health. Yeah, he was the CEO.
He was a 50-year-old man, father of two, married, and he was gunned down here in New York
Shot
City.
in the back too, several times.
And 3 times, and they found that they still haven't found the gunman. Although this morning I heard that they know who he is.
Yeah,
they
they're
just don't
pretty
know
sure
where
they
he
know
is.
who. Yeah.
They haven't released his name as of the time we're taping this yet, and the bullets were marked with depose, defend, and
They were
deny.
engraved. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they were. Written
I have
on,
to talk about the reaction to it because I'm telling you,
Right.
I was pretty appalled that people were happy that it happened because of the healthcare situation in the country, but that isn't how we should be solving our problems.
What do you think?
You don't go around murdering people
I think he
because
was,
of it.
they were triggered. I don't rejoice in it, but
No.
like I saw somebody write something like some of the what was the quote basically? Oh, so you're afraid now that they're going after you with guns? And it was a little kid saying it. He's saying, "Go to my school,"
Yeah.
Right.
and it's like
I
you know it's
I know the vigilanteism.
Right.
You know, is I don't ever approve that.
That's
although
scary. That's scary.
I understand.
I understand the anger.
I understand the anger. I don't approve of it. Don't get me
Right.
wrong. I don't. And I
Right.
can understand it. We all think back to what happened in July and our feelings at certain attempts, you know, which I'm not proud of. But, you know,
I
at
know.
the same time, I don't agree with it. And it makes
That's just more chaos. That's adding chaos to
self-reflection
chaos.
is needed. But I thought it was very interesting. And even Gail King on CBS the next day had picked up on it, how quickly Anthem reversed its controversial
Yes,
decision to limit anesthesia
When I
costs.
read that initially, I
Yeah.
said, how do you limit the amount of time someone could be on anesthesia during
Right.
a surgery?
Well, they wouldn't stop it because doctors have a Hippocratic oath not to.
yeah,
you know,
but
do
then you're
harm.
going to be paying
But
for
the
it.
person would be on the hook for that, and they have no control. And I said, how despicable for these companies. But they saw, I guess that CEO realized they did not want to
Right,
have the
right.
same result happen to
Yeah.
her.
Somebody on a Facebook friend of mine was brought into surgery, all set to go, and then they canceled it because his insurance was questioning it,
Yeah.
and he was all set to get
Yeah.
surgery.
That I heard a story like that on NPR, actually.
Oh, okay.
I was listening to WNYC, and that happened to this woman. And she said that she actually showed up. She got a notice the morning of. She's ready to leave, saying that it was canceled, not approved any longer.
Right.
So she went to the hospital anyway, and she did end up getting her surgery as scheduled. But the doctors and the hospital had to interfere and get in touch with the insurance to get them to approve it.
This is just
And
messed
it's,
up.
we're so screwed up. I mean, in the wake of all of this, you're seeing, at least here on the news and in the media, lots of different doctors and healthcare providers speaking up about how they spend more time on the phone with these companies than they do actually with their patients.
Yeah.
And there's a broken system, which we've all known for a very long time.
Yes,
It's a broken
yes.
system. Oh, sorry. But I feel bad for his family that are going through this. The CEO.
I know. I was thinking
Yeah.
of his wife and his children listening to this rhetoric about. People are very open about it too, saying, "Oh
Yeah.
well, they've killed millions of people." Well, he didn't single-handedly do that, and maybe you could disapprove
Well,
of the position that he was
No.
in. He allowed it to happen, but you don't murder people.
No, but there's also, I did hear, now I didn't do independent on this, I don't want to say, but I did hear that he was possibly involved in some insider trading as well. His company was under investigation and he had knowledge of it, that by the DOJ, and before it leaked to the public, which it had to do, he sold off nearly $15 million worth of stock.
And that happens every day of the year. We're going to start murdering these people.
Oh, Peggy, I'm not condoning it,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying I don't think he's as innocent as anybody might say.
One former
$15 million
was he an
and
attorney?
denying somebody.
Somebody was on. I was watching. It was on CNN. He came on. He had some high up position. He used to be in law enforcement, and he said, "I'm not trying to start a conspiracy theory, but another option as to why this happened was that maybe he planned it. Maybe
I was gonna say, I was
maybe
just,
because he said, what was he doing at 6 o'clock in the morning, just strolling? How did this guy know exactly where he would be at that time if he was
I
just
hadn't
taking
heard
a walk?
that would be his motive.
of the insider trading going
And
to jail.
for insurance, he didn't want to go to jail, or for the insurance money.
So he would plan his own death so that his family would get
They
the
would
life
they would be
insurance?
taken care of. So that's that's just something this guy
Mr.
suggested.
Lacey.
He said, "I'm not saying that's what happened."
Right.
But he's he's a former law enforcement guy. But he said it's not unheard of that those things happen.
Right.
I don't know.
And especially he was
Well, it's
strolling down
funny,
the
before
street
you even
and he got
said
shot in the back.
Yeah, before you even said that, I thought, I wonder if he planned it himself.
Yeah.
But these same theories happened too, like in July when Trump was,
Yeah.
the attempted assassination. I think that was going around too.
Yes, it
that
was.
This was
Carol
a planned,
believes it
a
at
planned
first.
event to
Yeah.
to
I still
help
do.
Gain
Yeah.
sympathy,
Yeah. Well, he got
but,
in.
but whatever it is, I mean,
We need one.
Oh yes. Okay. So
Yeah, we need one.
I'm doing the one, and now excuse us if we've done this before. We've done so many now I can't remember. This is called it's a Côte d'Aron
Lacey.
that I
La
bought.
Vinay do Boy.
La Vigne du Roy. I haven't been to France yet, so I'm not my French.
The Vineyard of Roy.
I don't know.
That's what I think vineyard in.
It's
is
got a
the name.
beautiful etching here of
What's the matter?
I feel like making
of
her
a
go
coat of
again.
No,
arms,
fine.
and
No,
it's
she's annoying.
As we said, it's a
Ignore
Côte d'Aron.
They'll hear her.
Well, we're hearing everybody talking
I know,
over me, so
really.
let's just pour this. Okay. So obviously, I'll just let you ladies try it. It's got a beautiful color.
It does.
I'm almost nearly 8 months into having no alcohol, on my year
Wow.
of having no alcohol.
Are you
and
going back?
I'll probably have some, but I'm not gonna.
on New Year's, will you?
No.
So you're going for.
Yeah, it's
Full
on my
year.
birthday, which is in April. That's when I go back.
Oh, I thought
Yes.
that you did it in January.
No. It's I
I
started
was
on my
thinking
birthday.
about it this morning. I said, when did she start?
My birthday. So, but it has allowed me to try a lot of non-alcoholic beers. This is one I can highly recommend. It's called Athletic. I think I mentioned it last
Yes,
time.
I saw it in Stop and
It's
Shop.
a wonderful tasting one.
Jessica
Before I
had
taste it,
already had that one,
Oh.
and she said it is very good.
would you like to try one while I'm here? I
Um,
haven't tasted it yet,
okay.
so there you are.
Smells good.
It's very, very good.
yeasty.
It's very good.
It is good. Tastes a little orangey.
Some of it.
I like the other one better.
Yeah, this one is. This is an IPA. So
Yeah.
maybe.
It's this one is
Would you like
lighter
it?
than the other one,
Yes.
and the other one was colder too. I need ice cold beer. That's not cold enough for me,
Okay.
but it's tasty.
All right. So here's the Côte d'Aron. Tell me what you think, and
Okay, I
I will
didn't
try to
taste it yet.
find the alcohol content while you look.
Well, let's raise our glasses to.
I took a sip. Beer and
There's-
wine
There's so,
do not go together.
There's so many possibilities.
Not
I wanna
to Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate.
Oh, I
It was
like
delicious.
this.
Oh, yes.
I have to have
Okay,
a
good.
cracker or something because I have the beer taste in
Oh,
my
I'm sorry,
mouth.
I did that too. Let me just see. Let me put my light on here. What do you think for the alcohol content on this?
Okay, I am going to say 14.
Oh, okay.
Lacey?
Oh, I see it. All right.
Excuse me. 1 second.
So, I'll smell your wine while
Yes.
you're going.
Come here.
Oh, it's very strong.
It's quite tasty.
So this is the Judy show right now. Thank you for joining us. I'm doing this all by myself today. Okay, so where shall we start? Now, I'm drinking all of this. I'll start with her wine, then hers, and then I'll move on to this non-alcoholic beer.
I love it. I love it. So sorry about that, but I have to train my dog.
I don't know, when I watch this on, it doesn't bother me about, it's not distracting to me when I hear that.
It's very
I
distracting.
don't know, I'm just telling you when
Yeah.
when I watch it.
I don't know what the folks out there think, but if you're in an actual studio, any sound, they stop taping because it's just too distracting.
All right, so we're back.
You're more distracting than the dog.
Oh, okay, thank you. Anyway.
So she said 14 for the wine. What do you say?
I'm going to say, oh God, this is really good.
It is good.
Yeah. I'm going to say this one is $15.99.
No, I'm saying about alcohol content.
Oh!
When you said
I was going to say that's a lot of alcohol.
I'm going to say this is like 12.
12%.
Mhm.
Okay. It's actually 13.5%.
Oh, maybe
Okay,
3
yeah.
plus. Okay.
All right. And the cost, so
Price?
you said $15.99, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember when I bought this.
Oh, so we
okay.
don't know.
So I honestly I don't know because it's been I've had it in my wine a holder for a while, so I don't know what it is, but I'm looking it up and I should have done that before and see what it cost generally shopping.
I would say $18.99. Just
Oh, what year is this one? Oh, 2020. Okay, so I just saw a 2022. I said that's a good price. I mean,
Oh.
a very expensive one. So for a 2020. It's, I gave you a really good wine. Okay.
now she's upset that she
Yeah.
shared this.
Let me, okay, I think it's like $24.99.
Oh,
okay.
good.
Yeah.
You're like,
There.
oh, good.
So there, oh no, that's wrong.
Oh,
Oh, well, I don't like it
No.
anymore.
It's only $11.99.
Okay, well, anyway, it's delicious.
That was at Total
For that
Wines.
price.
So yeah,
Delicious.
$11.99 at Total Wines.
wow.
Delicious.
I would get
Yeah.
it, definitely.
Okay, so there you go.
I'm pretty sure that we've had it.
I
Or
think so,
I've
too.
had it. I always buy reds because Jessica likes reds too. So I probably bought it and had it with Jessica.
Yeah, I probably paid a little more because I don't shop at Total Wines. Not anything against it, it's just not near me.
Yeah.
But so it's probably like around, I'd say $12, $13, $14. I would say.
Okay.
There you are.
Very cool.
All right.
Thank you.
So you have the book, I think, Miss Peggy, right?
No.
Oh, who's got the book?
Me.
Okay.
And I have not been able to read much at all because I've been so busy writing. But I decided I was going to be a little support my own self.
Ah.
Shameless self-promotion.
Yeah, really. That's of little faith.
Who's the author of that one?
This mirrors a lot of how I'm feeling about the country going into a theocracy. And when I wrote this, I wrote it after I had been involved in a fundamental Christian church. And I saw the hypocrisy, and I was just quite distraught because, they had me believing I was going to hell because the devil had his way with me. And, the wheels start turning and you realize, no, it's not true. It's a
The
fear.
devil had his way with you?
Well, yeah.
And Rosemary's Baby or something?
Yeah, really. So I started writing a memoir, and then I realized no one would give a rat's ass what I had to say because who was I? But then so I turned it into a novel. And first I'll read the description on the back that my publisher, oh, by the way, My publisher recently passed away. She published this book because she really loved it. A very small publisher.
Oh, that was Steel Press.
Steel cut press. Mary Walker Barron. And I didn't realize that she was slipping into dementia when we worked on this together, and so it didn't really go very far at all. And then we started opening up the bookstore, so I was distracted with that. I didn't get to promote this much at all, but it was the first novel that I wrote, but the second one published. So here's the description. The Vietnam War is on the nightly news, and women are burning bras in the fast-changing world of the 1960s. Laura, a 32-year-old newspaper columnist, wonders why her choice as a feminist couldn't be to have a baby without marriage. She must not only justify herself to forward-thinking friends, but also to her deeply religious siblings. Brother Eric, a compassionate minister, is struggling to find his own faith. Sister Beth, an angry and disapproving fundamentalist, is determined to hinder her sister in the name of her religion. And I'm going to read from the back. I did an author's note. And I apologize if it's going to go on too long. It's going to go on a little bit.
It's your turn.
Okay, all right. So this is my author's note. This is explaining why I had to write this. So it was 1989 when I began writing Of Little Faith, which first started as a memoir. I had just begun to pull away from a fundamental Bible-believing church that I had been a member of for several years and needed to sort out what I was going through. I began to see contradictions, not only in the members of this church, but in the very book on which we based our beliefs. Initially, I struggled with the doubts and questions I was having, believing they were inspired by the devil. After all, the church I attended had warned its congregation that, according to the Bible, the devil had ways of making us doubt our faith and tricking us. But it was that same Bible that taught us that we would not be tested beyond what we could bear, which was 1 Corinthians 10:13. However, I couldn't help but think about the 15-year-old active member of our church who must have been tested beyond what he could bear, since he went home one afternoon and took his father's pistol, loaded it, and put it in his mouth, pulling the trigger. He left a message telling his family to look at it as if he had never been born. 15 years old, and he felt he had no way out except to kill himself. Even though I wasn't close to this family, that boy's pain haunted me for years. Still does. Something wasn't meeting his needs, even though we sang hymns about Jesus walking and talking with us and being our comfort. Naturally, there were certain people in the congregation who gave excuses about why this boy did what he did, how he wasn't relying on God, how the devil had his way. Then there were the weekly Bible studies I attended faithfully, the ones where we were studying the book of Job. Finally, as we were wrapping up that particular book, the pastor who was leading the study reminded us of how Job never really knew why he lost his children, riches, and good health, but that he was blessed with more children, got back his riches, and was healed, and most importantly, never cursed God. Murmurs around the room muttered, "Praise Jesus."
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. And I praise Jesus? That was my response. Hesitantly, I spoke up. Well, Job doesn't know, but we're told why. Satan approached God and used Job as the chess piece. I'm not comfortable with that. I want a God who will protect me from such challenges. And there was an uncomfortable silence until one woman in the group said, "But he was blessed after that." I turned and asked her if her children died, would having more children replace them? She blanched and shut her mouth. I think that may have been the last time I attended the Bible study, and my attendance at church began to dwindle. That is not to say my decision was callous. No, I often found myself curled up on my couch sobbing, afraid I'd be going to hell because my faith did not hold up to my questions. The pastor made a last-ditch effort to get me to come back to the church, but when I explained to him my reasoning as to why I was having doubts, he admitted that most believers didn't entertain the thoughts that I was having because it was just too much to consider. So I started to write about it, and thought maybe a memoir would help me sort it out. However, 2 weeks into the process, I realized that no one was going to care about this 30-something-year-old woman who was wrestling with her own demons. Then suddenly a voice announced, I never meant to hurt anyone. This wasn't an actual voice, mind you, but one in my head, one that belonged to a young woman who became Laura Sumner. I just had to figure out what she meant, and before long she was battling her siblings and her mother's God from the tips of my fingers to the keys of my electric typewriter. That's when my memoir became a work of fiction. But if I were to be honest, I knew the character of Beth uncomfortably well. When I was in the throes of my church, I believed as Beth believed. I took the Bible at its word. I'm sure my family, who was not a part of this church, found me to be obnoxious and myopic. And there was also a part of me and Jenny, a part who wanted children. I did give birth to my son a year and a half after I married, but then several years later, when it appeared that I'd never get pregnant again, I adopted my 2 daughters from Korea, which was something I'd always wanted to do anyway. Therefore, I wasn't as panicked as Jenny, but I could relate to her frustration. Of Little Faith is not my first published novel, but it is the first novel I wrote. I would live and breathe these characters all hours of the day and night, and the story unfolded rather easily. Actually, it was written in 6 weeks. Okay, the first draft was written in 6 weeks. It then went through many, many more drafts for as many years until I was as satisfied as I could be. Well, I'm sure I would still want to tweak this or that, but there comes a time when one must let it go and move on, which is basically what I did with that fundamental church. People sometimes ask me what my beliefs are now. It's more what those beliefs aren't. I am no longer that arrogant young woman who I had been, who is so sure she had all the answers, thanks to the hefty book she referenced day and night. I no longer believe that the Bible is infallible. What do I believe in now? Well, for one, I believe it is okay to ask the tough questions, even if one's faith cannot stand up to them. But more importantly, I believe that compassion cures more sins than condemnation. That's what I have.
Bravo, that was very well written.
Thank you. And I see so many people trying to justify so many things now to make us a theocracy. And it's just so scary.
It's very scary.
And they think they have the answers, and they want people to go in lockstep with them. And it's very upsetting. I'm working on a sequel to this that's 18 years later, and it's much better than the drafts I gave you both. It's definitely improved, so much better.
Okay.
But, and it's not all that religious either. It doesn't go into that much about the religion. But so yeah, that was something. I needed to get this written. I needed to share it, and I actually brought a copy the other night. I had dinner with my cousin, who was raised by a woman that was very much like Beth, and she's dying to read it, and so I brought her a copy, and so
Very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's my story. That's my book.
Having come from, like I was raised a Catholic, so it's not
And so was
really
I.
a lot of Bible study
Right.
type of things. And I remember the book of Job, because I did read. I always enjoyed the Old Testament because to me I always liked
I can
fairy
see
tales.
that.
Yes.
And I said, "Oh, this is a great story." And I remember Job, the expression, the patience of Job,
Yes.
because God kept on testing him. But I don't remember the connection, the fact that God and the biblical facts, I'm sorry, not a real fact,
Right.
the biblical fact that God and Satan were in cahoots over that
Yeah.
to tempt him. I don't remember that part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he goes, well,
yeah,
what about
what
your...
kind of God is he?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
No, thank you. No, thank you. So, that's like self-promotion.
No.
But I haven't been able to read because I've been so between 2 different manuscripts that I'm working on and clients that I have. I'm just like, by the time it gets to be nighttime,
Yeah.
I just want to watch TV.
I usually do my reading in the afternoon, like before I have to start cooking dinner. Usually between 3 and 5, that's when I'm more likely to sit down and read. And this past week I haven't been reading at all because of the topic that I'm going to introduce tonight.
It's going to be so much more lighthearted.
It's very lighthearted, and it's going to be very haphazard and kind of fun.
And then we're going to end this. I give this 20,000.
Oh my God, I do too. I mean, really, this should be number one on the bestsellers list.
Absolutely, pick up.
And actually, we're Carol's latest novel, Before She Was a Finley, is an excellent book, and it's an excellent book for a book club too. If you have a book club, there's a lot to discuss in that, as you know, because we all have opinions about the decisions that characters make, and I have very strong,
It's so funny. Matt read it.
Yeah.
My son-in-law. And so at Thanksgiving, he couldn't talk in front of Cora because she was my daughter, because she was still in the middle of reading it. But after she ran out, left the room for something, he started talking to me. He goes, "And why did she do this?"
Yeah, I know.
And he said he just loved it.
Oh, wow.
The first part. The second part, he's got some issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, you know, so.
Yeah.
Oh, good. You can pick it up at your Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. You can
Theodore's Books.
Absolutely. Theodore's Books. Or just order
Amazon.
it.
Yep.
And leave a review after you read it. So
Please,
that would be
please.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So.
Well, what lighthearted topic
what are we
do we
talking
have?
Okay, this is what I did all week long. I started reading Game of Thrones, and I had to put it down because there's so many characters. I've been meaning to read it for years, and everybody keeps on saying it's right up your alley, you need to read it, but it's a big commitment.
Okay.
I don't know how far I'm going to get in it. The first book is over 500 pages long. And there's like 10 zillion characters
That's
in
kind
it.
of how I feel with Diana Gabaldon's The Outlander series. I would like to read the books, but I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, I know. There's like 15 books. I know.
Yeah, I can't do that right now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So anyway, I didn't get a chance to do much reading this week
Why, Peggy?
because my topic is Christmas movies. And I said, okay, I'm going to watch a whole bunch of Christmas movies.
Good for you.
And then we're going to talk about them.
Isn't it interesting that you can do that now with streaming and everything? Because about
Yes.
20 years ago,
Yeah,
you
I
wouldn't-
know. Like I had to Google a lot. Like, where can I watch this?
Right.
And if I had to pay for it separately over my streaming services, I said, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
That's the biggest ripoff in the world. I'm
Right.
already paying you.
Exactly.
Don't
Oh
charge
my
me
God.
extra.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Streaming companies, pay attention. So I guess I would start first by asking you each, like Carol, what is your favorite Christmas movie? I know what it is.
Oh, yeah,
You
I know yours.
think you know it.
Oh, okay.
I think I do.
Okay, well, there's two of them that I know that you really like.
And it's really hard because I knew you were going to do the subject. I knew this question was
Oh,
going
I
to
didn't
come
have
up.
to- let me
but,
think about it.
I didn't watch it all last year, but It's a Wonderful Life.
That's what I knew you were
Mhm.
going
And
to say.
I only started watching it when I was like maybe 10 years ago. I never really watched it before.
Oh, okay.
And I just found so much of it to be so charming and just so interesting. But I also love Elf. I love Elf.
Elf is great. We just saw
Yeah.
that one. Mine, I'll, if she said two, I'm going to pick two. I love Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh yes, me
Yeah.
too.
I love
that
Charlie
too.
Brown Christmas. I love the.
This is hard.
We all, you know,
Yeah.
the scene when they're all doing. We all do the dance at our house.
Yeah,
We all
yeah,
take
yeah.
characters. Oh,
Sweepy dances.
yeah, I would love it. And
When
then-
Riley was a little girl, I have the Vince
Girotti.
CD.
Oh,
Yes,
And
I do too.
She was like 2.5, 3 years old, and she used to constantly want to listen
a
to it.
great
And
one.
she made me do all the dances. She
Yeah.
would be dancing around.
we still do that.
Yeah.
So that's
so
one. And okay, there's. Well, actually, there's a lie. There's three. I love Love Actually.
Okay.
Okay, but the one we watch my girls will kill me. Don't tell them I told you this. They hate it, but I make them do it the day after Thanksgiving. We watch. You've never seen it.
Oh.
It's called Caillou's Holiday Christmas. Do you remember Caillou?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do. There were books, Caillou.
Yes, and when my girls were little, Caillou was a really big thing. We watched it, and he has this movie called Caillou's Holiday Christmas. It's very, it's for 4-year-olds, but we watch it and it's like not Christmas
It was
now.
a French one, right?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
Canadian, like
Canadian,
Canadian.
okay.
And so we watch that the day after Thanksgiving. That's how we usher in our Christmas season.
On Thanksgiving or right before Thanksgiving, I always like to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, okay.
That is such a heartwarming, funny story. With Steve Martin and John Candy, and that's a wonderful.
It's been a while for me.
It's a wonderful movie.
Yeah.
So.
And it's airing a lot lately.
I better catch it
Yeah.
because it's been a while since I've seen them.
Yeah,
definitely.
it's good.
What about
So-
ones that you hate? Or I'm stealing. I don't want.
Well, the ones that I love, I also love It's a Wonderful Life, and It's a Wonderful Life. I found some trivia on it.
Okay.
From behind the scenes. First of all, it's the #1 Christmas movie. In many, many websites, it comes up the best, the #1 movie. So it was made in 1946, and it got 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a great score. And it's all about how our lives affect, I'm sure you all have watched it, it's
Yes.
how our lives affect the lives of so many other people in a positive or a negative way. But in this story, it was in a positive way. That he wanted to kill himself because of financial problems. The bank failed, and an angel, Clarence, came down, and Clarence said, okay, I'm going to teach you this lesson. You're going to experience the world as if you had never been born. And of course, he found out by the end of the story that he had a very positive effect on what happened in that town.
But I love the fact that they had Clarence being like a bumbling character, and just like even sitting at the bar and saying how he hadn't had was a hot toddy.
Yes,
And the bartender, you get out of here. It's charming.
Yeah, it's a very charming movie, and it's one of the few movies that at the end of it I tear up.
Oh,
Yes.
I always do it. I'm not a
course.
crier. I don't cry. But if I do cry, it's usually because of a book or a movie.
Right, yeah.
So particularly movies, because I think that you're more immersed in it.
Yes.
It's almost like personal, like you're there and there's a face to the characters. But
Is there any other movie that makes you cry? Not to interrupt your schedule.
Well, A Christmas Carol is really a movie that I never miss. Every year on Christmas Eve night, I watch the 1951 version of A Christmas Carol, which is really, the original name is Scrooged in Britain. In the American version, they changed the name to A Christmas Carol with Alastair Sim. And at the end of that, his redemption is overwhelming to me, how he was redeemed and became this good person. And that is the message in all of the versions of
Turner
it.
Classic Movies just had the one from the 1934 version, Reginald, what's his name?
Yes, I've seen that too.
And at the very, I just got the very tail end of it, and it's just like...
Did you see the modern version, with Ryan Reynolds and
Will
Ferrell?
Will Ferrell.
Spirited. We just watched that again for the first.
Me too.
Again.
That's on my list here. But let me give you a little bit of
Trivia?
let's see, trivia here. I don't know why I wrote 1750 impulsively kissed her. It was left in the scene. I don't know why I wrote that. But anyway,
Is that part of your diary?
do you know the part of the movie where they're all young and he's just realized that he was in love with Donna Reed?
Yes.
And they're dancing on the floor where underneath it is the pool.
Yes.
So that I forgot why I wrote this down. That wasn't supposed to happen, or I don't know. We have to skip it. I'm sorry. I wrote all this a long time ago. Okay. Okay, when he impulsively kissed Donna Reed, that wasn't supposed to happen either. It was something that she said, and it was very impulsive, and he kissed her, and it was left in the scene.
Oh, it wasn't in the script.
No, it was left in the scene.
Okay. And wait, when did he first kiss her? At what point was that in the movie? I'm trying to remember.
I think it's outside when they were Christmas caroling. Remember, they were outside.
Well, they were like just the two of them by the light of the moon.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they were like singing outside.
She loses her bathroom.
Yeah. And the set that they created was actually 3 city blocks long.
Wow.
It was gigantic. It was one of the biggest sets that were ever created there. Yeah, I said it was one of the longest sets that had ever been made for an American movie. It included 75 stores and buildings, a main street, a factory district, and a large residential and slum area. So it was very big. And Jimmy the Raven, remember there was a raven in it?
No.
I vaguely do.
Yes, there was a raven in the movie,
do.
and it actually was a famous raven, Jimmy the Raven. He appeared in 1,000 films.
Oh.
In every Capra film he appeared in.
Wow.
And he landed on the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Interesting.
All right, so this is a little bit sad. During the filming, Jimmy Stewart suffered from PTSD and depression because he was in World War II, and he killed a lot of civilians, and so he was pretty screwed up, Jimmy
Yeah,
Stewart,
I'm actually-
because of the war.
A manuscript I'm working on for this woman, her father was in the war with Jimmy Stewart, like as part of her manuscript.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He was,
Yeah.
it was like, oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Lacey.
He told friends that he related to George Bailey. Some scenes while acting out anger were very cathartic to him. I guess because
That
of
came
his
across.
depression.
He is very good in that movie.
And his struggle. He had struggled with mental health. His acting became noticeably darker after the war, as he knew he had killed civilians in Germany and occupied Europe. So, and it was Capra's favorite film that he ever made, and it was Donna Reed's first starring role.
I loved her.
Yeah, it was actually filmed during a heat wave.
Oh
That
my
movie,
God.
I
yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah, it was all fake snow and everything, and they said they had to keep on taking breaks because it was a heat wave
That's so
in
funny.
California. So, and it's based on a book. This I didn't know. It was based on a book called The Greatest Gift, which was published in 1944. And you know, at the end of the movie where they play Old Lang Syne, that
Yes.
makes me cry.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Initially, they were going to have it set to Ode to Joy, and then they changed it to Old Lang Syne.
Oh,
so-
wow.
Yeah.
I kind of like Old Lang
Yeah, me
Syne.
too.
Yeah, me too.
Because we know it, you know.
I know, and it is. It's a very sentimental song. So,
yeah.
but anyway, now how about animated Christmas movies?
Well, like you said, I love the
Peanuts one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Charlie Brown. How about the Grinch
Oh,
animated?
yes.
Love it.
That's my favorite.
It's
version.
my favorite animated Christmas film.
I'm gonna throw my brother under the bus right now. He cries at that one every time. my
I
baby
do
brother.
too. I love
He
it.
It
just
is.
loves
It's
it.
very.
Yeah.
It's a story of redemption, and we all
We
love
all
that.
love
And
that.
I found that in all of these movies that I watched
Yeah.
this past week and a half, really since Thanksgiving, because I started watching them when I was in the Poconos at night, because everybody goes to bed early in my family, and I stay up late. So I was just watching like Christmas movies, some pretty bad ones. I that's the whole theme in all of them. They're stories of redemption. So another animated one that I thought I had never seen before, but when I watched it, I said I did see this movie before. It's called Klaus,
Yes,
Klaus.
I've seen that.
Is that
And-
with Tim Allen? No.
No, that's
Um,
Santa Claus.
Oh, is
Yeah, yeah. It's about
it's animated. Oh.
yeah, it's an animated film.
The post office.
Yes, he's a very spoiled and privileged son of a rich man, and his father has something to do with the postal service. and sends him to this town, a depressed town, to be the postmaster, and tells him, you have to get 6,000 letters, mailed from this town. Otherwise, I'm going to cut you off.
Right.
And he goes to this town and he befriends this. He's a toy maker. In this town, they just feud all the time. It's horrible.
Yes.
And how he turns that whole town around for its own benefit.
Yes.
And ends up that he actually becomes like Santa Claus at
He gets
the end.
redeemed.
Yes, he does. He does. It's well worth watching.
It is.
The
It's a very good
animation is wonderful.
I agree.
It's very good.
Here's an animated one. Is it on your list? Is Yes, Virginia.
Oh,
I think I saw that many
Yes.
years ago.
I enjoy that one
yeah.
still.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
I like that
didn't
one.
watch that one this time around. Some of them I wasn't able to watch. One of my favorite animated Christmas movies is The Snowman by
Oh, you were
Richard
telling
Briggs.
me.
Yes, I like that one.
And it's beautiful, and there's no dialogue in
No.
it. It's all set to music. And I wanted to watch it, but you have to pay extra for it. And I could have. It's not like I'm poor or anything. It's just that.
You
but-
had enough to watch.
Yeah,
this.
Yeah.
but that is so beautiful, and that's another one that, it just touches your heart. It's so heartwarming.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched the Muppet Christmas Carol,
Oh yeah.
and that was entertaining.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's great.
Yeah.
My favorite character in that was Rizzo the rat. He was hysterical. There were all these little aside comments.
That makes it funny.
And it made it fun. And do you remember a movie called The Christmas Toy? Rugby the tiger. He was a tiger. It's about all the
No.
toys in a household in the toy room that come to life at night.
Yeah.
And on Christmas Eve, they want to see who the new toy is. So actually, it's Jim Henson. It was all Muppets in
I
it.
don't think I've seen that.
You have to see it.
Okay.
It's the Toy Story totally ripped off that story.
I was gonna say
It's
it
like
sounds
the
like
exact
Toy Story.
same. Even if they have in Toy Story they have like She-Ra, she is, I
Yes,
forgot
yes,
her
yes.
name. Well, in the Toy Story they had Meteora. It was a total rip-off Toy Story.
Wow.
But Jim Henson died before Toy Story came out.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
He was only 53 when he died.
Yeah, he was
I know.
young.
Very, very sad. He died of sepsis.
Yeah.
I know, and he had such an impact on
I know.
so many.
They said if he
people.
would have gone to the hospital a couple of hours sooner, he
Such
would
a
have lived.
shame. It is such a shame.
Yeah.
I want to
So-
do a topic on him one day.
Yeah, he's
Well, that would be
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
Then one of the really, really bad ones that I saw was called A Christmas Karen. So it's like the
Oh.
Christmas, you know what a Karen is?
Yes.
If somebody calls you a Karen.
Yeah.
Well, it's a Christmas Carol modern version with this woman who's a Karen.
I don't think any of us here have ever been called a Karen.
No,
We're not.
no, not at all.
No.
And that's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I love that movie.
I have a love-hate relationship
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
I love it. I think
Yeah.
it's very funny and stupid, and I love it.
Yeah, I don't
I
even know if I
know.
watched it from start to finish.
Yeah, I
I'm sorry.
have, but every time it comes on, I kind of cringe. Like, I don't know, I don't like it as much as I did when I
Yeah.
was younger.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't anymore. Like, it was on the other day, and I was like, no, I
We
don't
used to
wanna
watch it as a family all the time, and then even after my husband and I separated, he always watched it. My kids watch it.
Yeah.
You have to watch it once during the Christmas
But I
season.
think what you just said is, it creates a memory of you watching it as a family.
Right,
too.
exactly.
It's sometimes
Yeah,
it's
it
not
is.
just
It's
what-
nostalgic.
Right.
A lot of these
Me with that
movies
stupid
are.
Caillou movie.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
They're
exactly.
not for it, and they're like,
Yeah.
no, but we all do, and I make them, and we all
The
sit there and
memory,
watch
yeah.
it. Yeah.
And in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, you know the old aunt, the old lady, the
I
aunt.
don't remember watching the
Oh.
whole.
Yeah, I don't. It's been years since I've sat there. and
Okay,
watched
she's
it.
senile. She boxes up her cat.
Oh yes, okay.
And you
I
know,
know that scene. Yeah,
to give as a gift. And
yeah, but yeah.
her name was May Kisdell, and it was her final film. She was the voice of Betty Boop in 1930.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
interesting.
yeah.
So if that ever comes up in Trivial Pursuit,
Yeah, well, you guys don't watch it
Yeah.
that often, so you probably wouldn't remember the scene either when the SWAT team comes to his house because of the kidnapping.
No.
All right. Well, anyway, that crotch grab that his wife does to him, that was totally improvised. That wasn't supposed to happen, but they let it in. So, but okay. I mean, I have so many more. Scrooged, the
Yeah.
Bill Murray one.
Yeah.
I love that because Bill Murray was in it, and I really, really love him. And The Holiday is the one with Cameron Diaz and
I
Kate
saw that
Winslet.
one recently. I like it.
I like it too, but there's something about Cameron Diaz that I don't like her that much. But Jude Law, I love him.
yeah, I love the scene. I love the scene.
Look at
when
your
they-
face.
No, I love The Holiday. I love it so much.
Yes.
The reason I don't love Love Actually is it really bothers me that everybody's happy at the end except Laura Linney's character. She's still stuck taking care of her brother.
I know.
Like they didn't find a joy for her. She had that guy.
Well, it was more real, actually, than everybody else being
You
happy.
can lead a horse to water, but you can't
Yeah.
make him drink. Like
Exactly.
to me, I thought that was real.
That
You
was-
can't have everybody happy. Like the one who also wasn't really happy was Emma Townsend's character. At the
Yeah,
end.
her husband
She
cheated
wasn't
on
very
her.
happy
right,
either.
right.
Yeah.
You know, that's the reality of it.
Well,
I
that
think.
Yeah.
scene, and
Oh,
that's the
I
only
know.
scene
When she's listening to her Joni Mitchell.
Yeah.
I know.
That's a heart wrenching,
I know.
but I prefer The Holiday over it. And
Yeah.
actually, there's another holiday movie that aired yesterday on TCM called Holiday Affair.
I watched that. That's the one with it's an old
Mitchum.
one, Robert Mitchum
And Janet Leigh.
and Janet Leigh, and I have seen that before,
Yeah.
and I watched it again.
And you know what was right after it? It happened on Fifth Avenue.
Yes, I know. I saw the end of It Happened on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, which
So
is sweet.
that's a good one. They're very old
Old,
ones
very
from
good.
the
Okay.
40s, and well worth the watch. But the thing with Holiday Affair, I don't know, something about Robert Mitchum. He seems a little aggressive. I don't know.
Well, it's hard to watch those
And
old movies. In
I
this
know,
current
exactly.
time.
It was
Yeah.
accepted back then. I
Yes.
said, I don't know. I would have walked away from that guy.
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway.
I just saw a movie with the girls recently and I was like, oh no, their school is doing a production this coming up of Guys and Dolls, and
Right.
we had never seen Guys and Dolls, so I said,
Yeah.
let's watch it. So
Right,
we
right.
got it on Netflix or wherever we got it from, put it on.
Frank Sinatra was in
Frank
it, right?
Sinatra,
Yeah.
and some of these songs, I go, what?
Yeah.
hell is this? I'm like, are you gonna sing this?
Yeah.
And I
Right to the school.
and I'm like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. You know, being
Yeah.
like, I'm like, oh my god. But that's
I
like
know.
watching it in a
Yeah.
different time. I go, oh,
I know.
it's cringy.
But I did watch one movie that I had never seen before because it just came out this year. And I almost didn't watch it, and then it was mentioned in the New York Times. They had a list of Christmas movies, and it's called Nutcrackers. And Ben Stiller is in
I
it.
saw it.
Oh, I really liked that movie about the kids.
It took me 40 minutes to give a rat's ass because those kids were so obnoxious.
They were. In the beginning, I said, oh my God, these kids are brats. But you should stick with it because I really liked it.
All right,
I like Ben Stiller.
Yeah,
I think he's he's a good actor.
Him too, yeah.
I like him, but I felt like the script, something was lacking for me. with
Yeah.
it. Something
Oh
was
no, I
lacking.
loved it, and I loved especially the end when they put on the Nutcracker.
Oh, well, that
Oh,
was
don't
fun.
ruin
And it
for
was,
me.
yeah.
No, that was fun.
I'm going to say something that could be controversial. I hate the movie, and I really hate it. The Christmas movies. That one with he's gonna poke his eye.
Oh, yeah, I hate it,
I
too.
hate
Oh,
it.
I
What
hate
is
that.
that
The
called?
Christmas story.
It's Christmas
Yeah.
story.
I hate that. I never liked
hate
it.
that, but everybody that I
And
know
so many
seems to
people love
love
it.
it.
I know. I never
hate it.
liked it. I never even could watch
even
the
as
whole
a kid,
thing.
I hated that
Yeah,
movie.
me too.
Yeah,
Okay,
shoot
good.
your
All
eye.
right,
Well, it
good.
wasn't
We all-
around when I was a kid,
You'll
but
shoot your
when my
eye
kids were
out.
kids, it was.
Yeah,
And a
yeah.
part of
And
me
they
was like,
got
I
the-
hope it shoots his eye out.
I don't know anybody in my family who ever watches that movie either.
No,
so
I
it's-
mean, there was people in my family that did watch it.
And now they have the commercial with, they have the kid as a young man with Kelly Clarkson. and they got the leg
I
lamp.
hate that
Oh,
shit.
okay. Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah. Oh, good. I thought I was like in the minority here.
No,
I was like, no,
I
no,
thought
I
it was,
hate it.
I thought, and another one that we talked about, even though you don't consider it a Christmas movie, is Heidi with Shirley Temple.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
Heidi. Yeah.
And I guess, and like I was saying before about memories, because that came on around Christmas time,
Right,
I'd watch
right.
it with my
I read
mother.
that book when
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
younger.
And I noticed a lot of the movies too. Like I said, it's not really a Christmas movie, but it took place at Christmas time.
Right.
So they do that. But I have a joke too that I heard
Okay.
this
Oh
morning
boy,
somewhere.
oh boy.
Okay.
Okay.
How do trees get on the internet?
How do trees get on the internet? They break a leg. I don't know. They leave.
Something with leaves, I don't know.
They log in.
Oh, okay.
Bada boom.
On that note, thank
Yeah,
you for
well,
joining us.
Yes, this was a 90-minute, and the
Oh,
part
God,
was
it
my
was.
discussion with my book was a long one, but thank you for watching, and we hope that you can have a peaceful holiday
Happy
season.
holiday.
And and let us know how you're doing, and let us know that you're watching.
Yeah. Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
Peggy.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Yeah,
Puppies.
yeah,
See
the
you
wine was
later.
very good.
I'm glad you liked it.
Very
Want some
much so. But no, because